Pam Heller, AccuQuilt's cutting expert.
And I am Erica, corporate marketing specialist. We're here today to introduce you to the Go 2 3/4 inch strip cutter and to show you how to make the wonderful quilt hanging behind us.
Oh, it's so beautiful. This is our Go Onward Throw quilt, and it's one of our new favorite projects, isn't it, Erica?
It really is. It's a fun project that's great for building your basic quilting skills. The strips are great for perfecting your 1/4 inch seams, and making flying geese is so fundamental. It's in so many quilting projects. Besides that, you know I love the colors,
I
right?
do. They're so pretty. Those are some of your favorites. Now, before we get started, let's talk a little bit about this die and talk about our shapes. Now, as you know, quilters, most of our dies, you will see both the cut and finished sizes listed. That's because AccuQuilt builds in that 1/4 inch seam allowance into all of our geometric shapes, including our strip dies. So when we talk about the 2 3/4 inch strip cutter, that's our cut size. So it's going to finish to 2 1/4.
That's right. So let's take a closer look at our quilt. Now, you'll see that the strips finish to the same width as the flying geese. It's really what makes this quilt, I think.
I'd agree.
This pattern is available for you as a free download on AccuQuilt.com. So you may want to pause the video, download the pattern, and follow along with Miss Pam and I.
Yes, it's going to be great. Now, the strips are really what makes this quilt. So let's start by cutting some strips. I really love strip dies, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I can use strips and squares and diamonds. They're just so versatile, and they come in so many different sizes.
Oh, absolutely. And just like all of our dies, you can cut up to 6 layers of 100% quilting cotton on them. They're designed so you can cut with the fabric strips. So what we've done is to go ahead and measure a 1/4 inch on either side of those blades, and we've rough cut some width of fabric strips.
Right.
So there
Here
you
we
go.
go. Perfect.
And you've got a pro tip for us.
I do have a pro tip for you. When you rough cut your fabric,
here you go.
Thank you. We always want to cut off those salvage edges.
Yep.
You're going to cut them off anyway.
Right.
You might as well do it before you start. So here's how you want to lay the fabric on the die. So like Erica said, you can have 6 layers of cotton, but you really want to make sure that the fold of the fabric is parallel to this black line.
Perfect.
If it's a little bit skewed, that's how you get those mountains or those elbows.
Oh, we don't want those in the middle.
We do not.
No
we do
dipsy
not.
doodles.
Nope. So we're going to lay it like this. We're going to do the same with the green. Now, once I've laid my fabric down, you want to make sure you have the appropriate size mat. So I have a 10 by 24 cutting mat. And remember, quilters, you're going to get thousands of cuts out of those dies, hundreds of cuts out of those mats.
Yep.
Flip them and turn them.
Flip them, turn side to side.
It's on a 10 by 24 die board, so I can use my Go or my Go Bigs or my Studio cutter with the appropriate adapter. So today I'm using my Go Big.
There you go. That is great strip die information, Pam. So once we've got these all cut out, we're going to start sewing some strips together, right?
I love that. Okay.
And really, this is so great. We're getting so many strips cut just at that one time.
Oh my goodness, yes. All right, as it's gone through the cutter, static's build up, so I'm going to give it a little love and slide. My mat don't lift. And now look at this, Erica. Oh, it looks like Mardi Gras.
It does.
What beautiful colors of strips.
So I'm going to start sewing the first 2 together.
Okay.
All right. And just like you said, we've got our 1/4 inch seam allowance built in. It's all going to go perfectly together.
And I find, Erica, when I'm sewing strips that I love to just chain piece.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
So quilters, be sure to refer to your pattern for the color order. And then once you've sewn each of the colors together, you're going to go ahead and press all the seams in the same direction. All right. So I'm going to let Erica finish sewing, and then I'll show you how we're going to press.
You know, it's a long strip to sew together.
It is, but I love that it's with the fabric.
Yes, and this is why I said it's a great way to work on your 1/4 inch seam sewing skills.
I say that to quilters all the time. If you have a hard time sewing a 1/4 inch seam, just sew strips together.
Sew strips together.
Bust up some of your scraps and stash.
And make cool stuff out of it. And I know there's so many patterns out there for 2.5 inch, but you know, you can do really cool things with other widths too.
I'm really excited about that. I use the 5 inch strip to make
Well, and this one is going to just match up perfectly with our 9-inch cube. And quilters have been asking for that. Okay.
Perfect.
There we go. So I will get you an iron. I will let you talk about pressing.
Excellent. So
There you
we're
go.
just going to press to the dark side. So we're going to press to the purple. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to.
That's what I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah, we're just going to press to one side. That way you don't have to press them open. It's hard to do strips when you're doing that. And I love our little shovel iron
It's so perfect for this.
and our little cutting mat. These are available on our website.
They are. And you can just keep them handy. I always keep my pressing things right next to my sewing machine, don't you?
I do as well. Mm-hmm. And a little snack.
Of course, you have to have a snack, right? We're sewing. We got to have a snack.
Okay, so I'm just going to press to the purple. And then you're going to continue to follow that pattern so that you sew in the correct order.
That's right. That is really a key. So we've got some that are sewn together, and this is in our right order. So
Excellent.
here's our strip set.
Okay, I'm going to give you back
All
that
right,
iron.
I'll give you that. We'll do-si-do.
And before we cut them, Erica, did you use your good big iron to press them down?
You know, I did. Once I got them all together,
Right.
then I did use a big iron to just get them nice and flat like you see them here.
Great. And then you're going to want to read and follow those instructions, right? To cut them into various lengths.
That's right. And you're going to want to follow the directions for subcutting because as you can see on our quilt behind us, they're cut into different lengths and you want to make sure that you have enough fabric. So you're going to want to follow that pattern direction. Okay?
Excellent. And typically we tell you to cut the longest piece first, right? And then go to the shortest.
Right. It's laid out really well in the pattern.
Perfect.
All right. So besides the strip die, we're going to use what, Miss Pam?
Our 9-inch cube.
Our 9-inch cube. Okay.
Move
So let
this
me
off.
grab that. And I will let you grab out what we need.
Excellent. So we have 6 different sizes of cubes.
Yes.
They start at 4-inch, 6, 8, 9, 10, and 12
And
inch
12.
and finished. Yes. So remember the shapes in the cube are the same in every cube. They're just different sizes.
Right.
They're all geometric shapes. And so they all have that 1/4-inch seam allowance built in. So let's open it up and see what's inside. All right, the skinny one is going to have your cutting mat and a pattern book.
Yep.
And we're going to open these up and show you the pieces real quick.
Perfect.
So the cube system's based on a 4-patch. So all of the cubes, shape number 1 is a square.
Yep.
4 of these sewn together makes a 9-inch block.
Right.
Sometimes quilters think I'm getting the 9-inch cube, it's going to have 9-inch blocks.
They're sewing.
There's some sewing involved, okay? Shape number 2 in every cube are smaller squares,
Yep.
all right? Shape 3 are half square triangles. Great thing about half square triangles and our 1/4 square triangles, we cut off those dog ears.
Right.
So you can find that 1/4-inch seam.
Okay.
We're going to need shape number 4. It's
Yes,
the
we are.
center 1/4 square triangle.
All right. Let
So
me
we're going to
grab
pull that
from you.
out. I'll give you that. And shape number 5 is also a shape we're going to use. It's
Yep.
smaller half square triangles, just
Right.
like the big one. We've cut those dog ears off.
Yep.
Shape number 6 in every cube are square on point. It makes that great block square in a square.
Yes.
One of my favorites to just chain piece. And then somebody woke up and said, please let there be a parallelogram.
And there is.
And there is. And shape number 8 in every cube are rectangles.
Perfect.
So remember, quilters, the same shapes in every cube, just different sizes.
All right. So now we're ready to make some flying geese, and that's why we pulled out shape 4 and 5.
Excellent.
Okay. So shape 4 is going to be the body of the goose.
Yes.
Shape 5 are going to be our wings.
Excellent.
And we are going to use our Go Big for cutting today. And that means we're going to be able to cut both of these dies at the same time.
That's the advantage, because the Go
So-
Big is 4 inches wider than our Go Fabric Cutter.
That's right.
I love
That's
it.
right.
So make sure we have that lengthwise grain going through the cutter, right? So we get a nice tight cut. So there's our goose bodies.
And here are the wings. And we're going to put that on. And I'm going to fan fold this across for you.
And we can always cut 6 layers of quilting cotton, but we can cut other as well, right? We can
Right. All
cut
kinds of
flannel,
fabric.
felt, denim, wool, cork, minky.
And we have 2 mats because what happens without a mat?
Nothing.
All right. Here we're going to have a die race. There you go.
Excellent. Here we go. So they're going to go through both at the same time.
This is such a great time saver, isn't it?
Oh, it is. All right, so now we've already cut 6 flying geese. Think how long that would take you to cut by hand.
Yeah.
Give it a little love.
Yep.
Kind of staticky here in the Dream Studio today.
It is. I'm going to go ahead and do a green and a purple.
Perfect. Now this is a great chain piecing project. And I like to stack up all my pieces like you do.
Yep.
Have a left and a right.
Yep.
And we're just going to sew one side of the wing, and we're going to do, if you were making this quilt, you would do all of the pieces at one time.
That's right. That's right. So we're going to go ahead then.
Erica's just going to sew 2.
And sew a couple. We're going to lay this out. Now that dog ear's removed, so we're going to see exactly where our 1/4 inch seam allowance is.
Yes.
So I'm going to get busy.
And the hard thing about flying geese is that when you sew them together, those points never come together and the sides are kind of wonky.
We're going to show you how easy it can be.
We're going to show you. It's going to be awesome.
And they line up so perfectly. Are you going to be my presser?
I can press.
Okay.
I love the colors of this quilt. It is so pretty.
Oh, I know. All right.
Thank you.
We keep moving it because we don't want to burn
Yeah, we don't want to burn
ourselves.
ourselves.
We get to going during these videos and
You can just see it knock.
There you go.
Okay, so am I pressing it away or am I pressing it open?
You're going to press it open.
Yes. And the reason we're going to do that is when Erica adds the other side, then the piece is going to line up perfectly. Okay. Ooh, there, got my finger there on the end of the shovel iron.
I did that the other day.
I moved it really fast. It's okay.
It's hot. All right,
It
so
is.
I'm going to get started with our other wings while you finish pressing.
Perfect. All right, here we go. There we go.
Perfect.
I'll just move this over here.
Keep it out of our way. And we got another one.
So once you have one side pressed open, go back and sew the other side. And you're going to need 4 for each of the rows, right? The blocks.
Right. And again, when we start putting these together, you want to refer to your pattern so that you're keeping your colors in the correct order. And that's really the trick for this one.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so I'll press that one open.
Thank you. And another one.
And then you have a little pro tip for us when you're sewing flying geese together.
I do. So when I'm sewing, once we sew them together, we're going to sew them together with the tip to the bottom here.
Yes.
And when I do that, and Chelsea, we're going to show you this here. Okay. I like to have my tip on the top, tip top. Okay.
Okay.
Tip on top. So that when it goes through the machine, I can make sure that my stitching line goes right across the very top of that point.
That is brilliant.
Okay.
That is brilliant.
Yes. So, and then when we press this, we're going to press towards the flat side because there's less seam there. And that way it's going to be a little flatter for us.
Oh, that is brilliant.
So.
Excellent. That's a great pro tip.
Yeah. All right. So let me sew this together then, and we'll show everybody how well it goes.
And again, such a great way to chain piece.
It is. It's a great chain piecing project. And if you're afraid of flying geese, go ahead and make this quilt. And by the time you're done, you're going to be a pro.
I am such a fan of flying geese.
I know you are.
I make them all the time. I just think they're so fun.
Any excuse for a flying geese in projects.
I think
Pam's
so.
all over it. Okay, so here you can see how we sewed right across that. And when we open it up, then there's our tip.
Ta-da! Wow. And then I'm going to press right here towards that top.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
Oh my gosh, the things we're learning today.
That's right. So I can go now and sew this onto this, and that's going to give us that set of 4.
Perfect.
So the next step is going to be to take we would have taken our strip.
Right.
In this dark kind of indigo-y, purpley,
beautiful color.
Beautiful, yummy, whatever we want to call it, color
Yes.
is. And we're going to come down to 9.5 inch lengths.
Okay.
Okay? Because that's going to go on either side of our 4 goose units.
Perfect.
Okay?
Perfect.
Okay. So we've got that together, and we're going to press these seams then towards the outside.
Oh, towards the strips.
We're going to press them towards the strips because again, that's going to give us flatter. We don't have those seams involved. So we're going to go ahead.
Look how nice and flat that is.
Isn't that nice?
Gets rid of all the bulk. Okay.
And it really presses out. And again, Pam and I both, as we're going, we use that little shovel iron, but then you may want to take your big heavy iron and just really press those out.
Excellent.
Just like when we put our geese together, when we put this row of 4 together and we sewed it so the tip was on top.
Yes.
We want to do that again when you sew these 2 border strips on. So I'm going to flip it over so you can see. So if you lay it out under your sewing machine, again, so your tip's on top, you're going to be going across, and you're not going to see exactly because of how you've got your points.
Right.
But you are going to be able to tell that you are right along that tip so that when you open it up, again, you've got your little points perfectly.
Awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah, it really helps, and it really helps that final project. Again, this is a really good skill building project.
It is. And I feel like it's such a fast and easy project.
It really is. It really is. Okay, so next you're going to be sewing 4 vertical rows together.
Okay.
And then sewing those 4 vertical rows together to finish your top.
Oh, how easy. Once your top is complete, layer it with batting and backing, pin or baste the layers together, and quilt as desired.
Go ahead, add your binding, miter those corners as you go, and this fun quilt is going to be finished for you in no time.
We hope you enjoyed making this and many other projects with your strip dies, because at AccuQuilt, we help you cut time.
So you can quilt more.